In the shadows of geopolitical warfare, where gunfights are replaced by blackmail and battleground are boardrooms, two legendary titans of espionage prepare to lock horns. Not through diplomacy, not through whispers in smoky backrooms, but in the warrior's gauntlet. This is not your average spy thriller. This is a no-holds-barred, steel-cage showdown between the most feared intelligence agencies on Earth, the CIA and Mossad. The Central Intelligence Agency, America's cloaked hand of influence, has toppled regimes, run death squads, drone-strike goat herders and terrorists alike, and even tried to assassinate Fidel Castro with poisoned cigars. With a global reach that rivals Amazon and a black budget thicker than Fort Knox, the CIA operates with such bureaucratic efficiency, it could waterboard you, make you confess to sinking Titanic, and bill your insurance the damages. This is an agency so good at covering its tracks. It has its own tracks covered before the boots even land. But don't look away, because here comes the Mossad, Israel's whispering blade in the dark. Small in size, colossal in impact, Mossad doesn't just gather intel. They play 4D chess with the universe. They've kidnapped Nazis, gunned down terrorists mid-dinner, and sent exploding phones to scientists building bombs. Every time someone says it couldn't be done, Mossad already has 3 contingency plans and a mole in your cousin's WhatsApp group. While the CIA dominates with muscle and machinery, Mossad wins with chutzpah and cold, calculated brilliance. So, how do you pit the world's largest intelligence machine against perhaps the most effective pound-for-pound spy agency alive? Easy. Strip away the suits, toss aside the satellites, lock them in a war zone with full tactical kits, and see who walks out breathing. This isn't James Bond versus Jason Bourne. This is Predator versus a pack of Wolverines. Satellites offline, backup denied, and only one agency gets to lead with its legend intact. Grab your dossiers and steady your nerves. The shadows are about to explode into fire. This is Warrior's Gauntlet, CIA versus Mossad. Founded in 1947 through the National Security Act, the CIA emerged from the ashes of World War II as the spiritual successor to the OSS, Office of Strategic Services. Created to battle Soviet influence, the CIA grew into the apex predator of global espionage, often operating with such autonomy that even U.S. presidents have struggled to leash it. It is both a gatherer of intelligence and a wielder of covert action, often shrouded in plausible deniability and forged in Cold War paranoia. The CIA's primary strength lies in its vast resources, global network, and technical superiority. Cyber capabilities? Check. Advanced surveillance tech that can read your heartbeat through walls? Check. Trained operatives schooled in languages. Cultural infiltration, disguise, sabotage, assassination, and psychological manipulation? Absolutely. The CIA's clandestine service trains in everything from halo jumps to deep cover sleeper operations. The agency's paramilitary division, SAD, Special Activities Division, is composed of XLS Delta Force and Marine Recon, making it the CIA's muscle when words fail. Expect top-tier tech. Suppress M4 carbines, Glock 19s, SIG Sauer P226S, custom-bonded body armor, encrypted comms, GPS scramblers, even cyber tools that can mimic other nations' cyber fingerprints. Drone support, satellite imaging, thermal and infrared tracking. If it exists, the CIA has beta tested it. And in hand-to-hand combat, CIA operatives are trained in Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Systema, making them lethal even without a gun. The CIA orchestrated the Iranian coup of 1953, helped dismantle the USSR's influence in Afghanistan via Operation Cyclone, conducted hundreds of counterterrorism operations, and killed Osama bin Laden with SEAL Team 6 using CIA intelligence. They've launched coups, protected American corporate interests, and destabilized dozens of countries with surgical ruthlessness. Size can be a weakness. Bureaucratic lag and interagency politics often plague the CIA. Their reliance on advanced tech can be a liability when stripped down to analog combat. Moreover, CIA operatives sometimes work in silos, excellent individually, but not always as cohesive teams. And, ironically, their fame breeds complacency. When you think you're the big dog, You stop checking for smaller ones gnawing at your legs. Now on to Mossad, known officially as Mossad Lumodin Yultaf Kadim Mayudim. Created in 1949, Mossad was Israel's answer to the hostile sea it was born into. Unlike the CIA's grand global web, Mossad had a single focus: survival. With a minimalist budget and a maximalist sense of purpose, it became the scalpel to the CIA's sledgehammer. Its agents aren't just trained to infiltrate and extract. They're trained to disappear and leave no trace but whispers. Mossad excels in human intelligence, psychological warfare, and long-term infiltration. They are world-class at covert tracking, disguise, and counterintelligence. Mossad operatives often work in teams called Showdown units, elite strike teams specializing in assassinations and sabotage. They are polymaths in combat logistics, language, and field improvisation. Their social engineering is elite. If Mossad wants in, they'll charm the doorman, befriend your grandma, and poison your coffee while getting your autograph. Mossad favors stealth and utility over firepower. Concealed pistols like the Jericho 941 and Glock 26, miniature surveillance drones, lip balm that doubles as a flash drive, and disguised explosives are their signature. Their gear is modular, compact, and often designed to blend into civilian settings. But when a firefight breaks out, they're no slouch. Tactical vests, suppressed SMGs, and flashbangs are deployed with clinical precision. Mossad hunted down and executed nearly every member of the Munich massacre plot, Operation Wrath of God. They kidnapped Nazi war criminal Adolf Eichmann and smuggled him to Israel for trial. They sabotaged Iran's nuclear program, repeatedly, through cyber attacks, assassinations, and explosions. Mossad's reach even penetrated into ISIS cells, Russian hacker groups, and Hezbollah leadership, sometimes eliminating threats before the CIA even knew they existed. Mossad's smaller size means limited manpower and fire support. They often rely on improvisation and are less standardized than U.S. forces. High-risk, high-reward operations leave less margin for error. Their success hinges on secrecy. Once compromised, they are vulnerable. And while brilliant in urban or covert environments, they are less equipped for open warfare or drawn-out battles where brute strength trumps finesse. This isn't a battle of ideology. It's a war of surgical steel versus global reach. The CIA storms the gate. Mossad picks the lock. One strikes from the sky. The other slits your throat while you sleep. The sun rises over a forgotten Middle Eastern ghost town, scorched and abandoned after decades of warfare. Crumbling minarets pierce the dawn sky. Shattered homes, bullet-riddled walls, and skeletal vehicles lie scattered across the ruins. This is the arena. No satellites, no command centers, no government backups. Just dust, shadows, and death. On one end, a 5-man CIA paramilitary team emerges from a downed Black Hawk in the outskirts. Their boots crunch over rubble as they silently fan out. Each man linked to the others by encrypted radio and years of training. Led by a former Delta Force officer turned SAD field operative, the squad is loaded. M4S with holographic sights, thermal scopes, suppressed sidearms, portable UAVs. One of them is already launching a microdrone the size of a hummingbird into the air. Across the battlefield, unseen to all but the dust they disturb, a Mossad Showdown unit slithers through the ruins. For operatives disguised in civilian clothes, blend seamlessly with their environment. Their faces are painted with soot, eyes covered by UV blocking goggles. No radio chatter, no tech humming. They communicate with subtle hand signs and sheer instinct. The micro-drone buzzes across the rooftops. In seconds, it transmits a heat signature. 4 figures moving northeast, low and coordinated.
Hostiles spotted.
The CIA leader barks into comms.
10 meters between them. Advance slow. Initiate contact.
But the Mossad agents have already seen the drone, and one pulls a modified electromagnetic device from her jacket. A small pulse. The drone drops like a stone. The CIA team halts. Confusion. Then instinct. Suddenly, a thunderclap. A suppressed shot rings from the second story of a crumbling building. The team's rear man, code-named Wraith, spins and crumples, a single round to the eye socket. Panic surges.
Contact left! Second floor! Go!
The CIA team opens fire. Control bursts rip through the building's facade as two agents flank left. Another tosses a flashbang, sending concrete dust skyward. But as they storm the stairwell, they find only a tripwire and a sealed gas trap. It hisses. One man drops, coughing violently, blinded. The other pulls him back, dragging him behind cover. Outside, the Mossad team splits. Two break right, fast and silent. One plants a remote claymore in the shadows of an overturned car. The final operative remains above, watching with a scope Taver sniper rifle, waiting for the CIA to take the bait. The Americans regroup.
Push west, flush them.
A CIA operative tosses a signal grenade to mask their movement. The heat and sound cloak their sprint, but they pass the claymore. A click, a beat, then boom. Two more drop, one instantly, torso vaporized. The other, leg shredded, screams before a second suppressed round ends him. The sniper again. Now only two CIA men remain, the team leader and his comms expert. Bloodied, furious, and alert, they make a hard push toward the sniper's nest. No more caution, just kill mode. As they ascend the ruins, the sniper is gone. A mannequin with thermal tape lies in her place. A trap, a shadow shifts behind the lead agent. He turns, but too slow. The Mossad sniper jams a combat knife up beneath his chin. The blade punches into the brainstem. His body twitches, then folds. The comms expert spins and fires. 3 rapid shots. One catches the assassin in the shoulder, spinning her. But she tumbles over the edge and disappears like smoke. Panting, the last CIA man backs into a corner, bleeding from his arm. He preps his last grenade. Then, click, a cold muzzle presses to the back of his skull. A whisper of breath. Then a single shot. His body slumps beside the others. Mossad operatives regroup silently. 3 remain. One is wounded but walking. They vanish into the haze, leaving only shell casings and shadows behind. No announcement, no celebration, only the wind whispering over corpses. Only Mossad walks away. This wasn't a battle of sheer strength or brute firepower. It was a war fought in silence, through deception, precision, and surgical timing. And in that kind of war, Mossad was always the apex predator. Let's break it down. The CIA brought elite operators, highly trained, technologically superior, and battle-hardened. Their advantage was coordination through encrypted comms, real-time surveillance, and access to some of the most advanced gear a black budget can buy. But all that relies on infrastructure. Drones need signals. Communication needs power. Strategy needs predictability. And in the chaos of a stripped-down battlefield, those dependencies became vulnerabilities. Mossad, by contrast, operates as if the lights are always out. They plan for compromised tech, severed lines, and hostile territory. Their size forced them to master improvisation. Their very existence depended on turning scarcity into strength. The CIA came in with a sledgehammer. Mossad used a scalpel. And when it struck, arteries were severed before the Americans even realized they were bleeding. The turning point? Mossad's electromagnetic shutdown of the drone, and their use of bait tactics, like the mannequin sniper decoy and the well-placed claymore. They forced the CIA into reacting, not initiating. In a battlefield where seconds decide life or death, forcing your enemy to respond is as lethal as any bullet. The CIA's downfall was incompetence. It was overconfidence. They expected a direct engagement and relied on their systems to dominate. Mossad dismantled those systems one by one, never engaging on the CIA's terms. This wasn't a fair fight. It was a lesson in asymmetric warfare. And so, in the ruins of a world shaped by secrets, 3 ghosts vanish into the dust, leaving the stars and stripes draped over silent bodies. Mossad wins, not with numbers, not with tech, but with the cold, efficient brilliance of elite operators bred for survival in the most hostile arenas on Earth. Next time on Warriors Gauntlet, the battlefield shifts from the shadows to the streets as the Hell's Angels clash with the Crypts. It's chrome thunder versus urban firepower, loyalty inked in leather against a legion stitched in blue. In this war, there are no civilians, only enemies, and he only laws who rides away alive.